Thank you, Senator Tillis. Dr. Roush, if I could just start with you. You testified in your written testimony that since 2001, over 4 million now veterans, as well as DOD civilians and DOD contractors deployed to the Southwest Asia Theater of Operations. How many of these individuals would have been exposed to airborne hazards, including toxic exposures from burn pits, do you know, in that time frame?
Well, I can't imagine that all of them should have been exposed to some types of airborne hazards if they were deployed in various base camps and environments in Southwest Asia. Because Southwest Asia, just the military operational environment, vehicles, burn pits, everything else, to include sandstorms, create a lot of potential for airborne hazards. And if you're there, you're exposed to it.
What is DOD's estimate for the number of individuals who would qualify for the presumption of service-related connection, given how many individuals were exposed and so on?
I got to take that for the record. I'll get you as much detail as I can, but I can't give that to you off the top of my head, Senator.
That's fine. We'll take it for the record, and I'll look forward to your answer. What was the practice of burn pits in other theaters during this period of time from 2001 forward? Do you know, Dr. Roush? Besides that is Southwest Asia.
What other burn pits and other combatant commands? Mm-hmm. I'll take it for the record. Most of them should have been in the CENTCOM AOR, though.
Okay. And, well, so if they're in the CENTCOM AOR, then they're in this same region that we've been talking about, roughly. Tell me about just the DOD's collection of this data. I mean, what we're dealing with service members' exposure to toxins, burn pit toxins, other airbornes. It seems like we have very limited data for a lot of this. Why is that? Why is it the DOD has not collected this kind of data for so long? Can you give me any insight?
Well, I think we've always improved the extent of the data and the technologies that we collect the data with, and we continue to improve. We collect a lot of environmental health assessment data. A number of compounds a number of airborne compounds, particulate matter, compounds that are in the motor pool over there. The compounds in the soil that get aerosolized as a result of operations. A lot of that is collected, and it goes into a database that we call DOORS, and DOORS is a large database that can then feed into EILER, which is what I was talking about, which is an individual longitudinal exposure record that pinpoints the location of the service member with all of that environmental data, and therefore the healthcare provider can take a look and get kind of a summary of where the service member was, what the environmental hazards were in that area, and can best, form a treatment regime for that service member.
What about data available for assessing the linkages between exposure that we've been talking about to airborne toxins, including particularly from burn pits, and certain kinds of illnesses? What has DOD been doing to improve data collection on that score and data analysis?
Well, so it's a part of the data that we already collect by preventive medicine units and store in our databases, but linking those exposures to illnesses has been somewhat challenging. A couple of years ago, the National Academy of Sciences said that there's consistent data from exposures in Southwest Asia to our deployed force and illnesses such as persistent cough, asthma, and a few other respiratory disorders. More data is needed, and more specific data linking individuals to certain airborne hazards and their health outcomes is needed to be able to expand that list.
I'll circle back to you on the questions for the record. I'll probably have a few more as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just a couple of follow-ups.